Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Mac Merlin stream. Hopefully, everything's sounding all right. I've changed over from Streamlabs OBS to OBS on my Windows machine, thanks to recommendations from the audience on Tuesday. So hopefully, everything's sounding good. Everything's looking all right. See a couple of people on stream. Frozen Skeptic, Gazug, and Desperate Ape. Thank you guys for joining in so early. As you guys can see from the stream title down below, tonight we are building the Keebsforall Freebird TKL. So hopefully you guys are excited for this board. I think, like, based on my unboxing on Tuesday, I think it's going to be one of the better budget boards of 2022. YVR says, what are we building today? You can find out whatever I'm building by executing the build command. Today's build is a vendor build from Keebsforall. I'll be showcasing their newest board here. It is the Freebird TKL. Yeah, this is a $225 TKL kit with multiple mounting options available. The stats are probably like the most annoying and the most, boring part of a keyboard build, but they're definitely one of the most important. I've seen people rush through them as fast as they can, and they put the wire into the wrong hole and stuff like that. And then they pay so close attention to the rest of the build, but then once they finish, they're like, wait, how come my stab doesn't work? Does this board have standoffs to secure to the PCB? No, not that I can see. Not that I can see. Yeah, you guys can see close enough there. You'll see that there's no screws or like whatever. There's nothing there. Purely held together by the switches and the plate. Right. Let's put on some switches. There we go. Let's test out these stabs. Someone earlier was talking about the OBE. So the key set that I'm going to be using for this board is currently on my OBE, so I'll be sacrificing the OBE for the time being. The stream is still chill. I'm also pretty tired, so I needed to be chill. I think I wasn't so tired from the workday, but I was tired from the drive back. Are those NK dry switches? No, these are Gateron KS3s lubed with 205G0. The reason why I'm using KS3s is because on my Jane, I'm using linears, which are a KS3 recolor. Well, today was just exceptionally rainy, and there was some crash, so I was literally not moving for a good like 20 minutes. Have I tried JWix or Gateron Pros? Yes, I have. Yeah, so the NK Dry series should actually say NK on them. I think I've got a few of those around. Which do I prefer out of the two, JWix versus Gateron Pros? So I'm definitely Gateron Pros. So many bent legs. Oh well. How's Seattle lately? Seattle's been fine. I think I was saying on the stream on Sunday that we are trying to get a meetup running, and we had one scheduled for the 15th, but because of the Omicron spikes, we were like, actually, we probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, we were gonna have it at Optimism Brewery, but we're like, yeah, never mind, let's not do that. Like meeting up with people and like having food, that's not such a bad thing, but the fact it's the nature of our hobby, right? We are bringing keyboards. People will touch your keyboards, right? Like I guess you could bring your keyboards in and be like, do not touch. Gloves only, I know, right? Seriously, if you bring your keyboard to a meetup, expect people to type on it. So if you have like precious GMK that's like on the verge of shining, don't bring those. Don't bring those. There was one California meetup that I went to where someone put their keyboard in like a acrylic box. All right. guess that didn't really help me out too much. Typing feel and sound are a big part of the experience, I agree with you. Except here's the thing. When you're at a meetup, there's usually so many people there that you can't gauge the sound of a board. Well, you can't accurately gauge it unless it's like a clicky switch or something. Got the Mr. Suit? Nice! Congratulations. Mr. Suit is a great board. Big old space bar, yep. Yes it is. How does the ano look? As I learned on Tuesday's stream, it's not actually ano, it's E-white. I mean, sorry, it's electrophoresis. Actually, no, that I could be wrong there too. Let me just actually look at the page. Yeah, it's actually E-coated CNC machined aluminum case. There we go. So many screws. Yep. So I do notice that these two screws on the far end here don't seem to go all the way in, whereas everything else went in just fine. Like these guys. There's one there. This guy doesn't seem to go all the way in. There we go. Doesn't go as far in as the rest of them. Oh well. You could just cut them shorter. Well, that's the thing. That's a very destructive mod. It doesn't fit to make it fit. Alright. Let me sacrifice my OBE. That's what you heard last night, says Gazag. What did you hear? Oh. What did you hear last night? E-coded on your unboxing code. Okay. Let's see, what should I put for my F13 key? I didn't really get any novelties with Kaiju here. Well, let's see, what should I put there? I'll put, oh, here we go. There's Neflock. I think it's so funny. Neflock. Let's see, how does this go? It goes, scroll, print, and pause. I'm not mistaken. Scroll, print, and pause. Insert, delete. Insert, delete. Home and end. And page up, page down. And we're good. We are good. Check that out. This Kaiju actually looks pretty good on black. It's really nice. Oh, here, let me go. Let me finish it off by putting on the feet. There we go. Zerber says print, scroll, pause. Good thing I can just key map it. How is the weight? It's actually really light. It's probably the lightest TKL that I have right now. Go. Okay. All right, let's clean up a bit here and we can do a quick sound test. So much green on my desk today. Wow, this is so light. Holy cow. This feels so light. Did I use the Heine or the included PCB? I used the included PCB. My shirt looks like the shade of green. It's actually gray, but I guess you can see some green in it, right? Does it feel too light or just light? It's hard to answer just because I do tend to get lots of heavier boards, so it feels too light, but your frame of reference might be different from mine. You get what I mean? Where do you get the Merlin dust pad? Hopefully they will be going into group buy this year. For example, you know, if you go to the gym to lift weights, you see someone lifting like 100 pounds or so, and then you're like, oh, I can lift 100 pounds. And you're like, wait, this is so heavy. But you have tiny muscles. That guy had huge muscles, you know? Okay, there we go. Swap things around. Let me just Oh, yeah, this. My Amory is so much heavier. Holy crap. Where is it? There it is. Okay, let me just reprogram the board really quick. Okay, not detected by VIA quite yet. Let's try again. Here, I think Kansu sent me a few things here. You know what? The board works. It's fine. I don't need to fully configure it. Am I able to describe how the coating feels? It feels just like your average e-coating. Doesn't feel any different, to be honest. Okay, here we go. Let's do a quick typing test, and I'm going to turn off crisp really quick here. Okay, so this is how my room sounds, guys. You guys should hear lots of echoes. It's pretty bad in here, actually. You might even hear my GPU kicking in as well, unfortunately. Yeah, buzzing sound. Yep. It is what it is. Okay. Man, I was just about to go for the Windows key just to increase it. There we go. Here, let's put it at 100. Sounds more on the high pitch end. Yeah, I would agree with you. Even though we went with a I believe it was a palm plate. Let's see. Yeah, it was a palm plate, and with Gateron KS9, it does still sound higher pitched than what I was expecting. Let's see. I am calling to FB TKL over NK TKL. I have not built my NK TKL yet, but based on comparing this with the EE, I'm going to say this seems a lot nicer. One F2, do you have some kind of noise gate on or something? It sounds kind of thin and plasticky. It is what it is. Can you type on the J next? Yes, we'll be typing on the J next. See, Mordecai resubscribed for 1 month at Tier 1. Thank you so much. Subscribed for 3 months. So ready for the Paragon. Nice. So is it solid for the price? Absolutely. For what, $225? I think this is a great deal. Like, it's not, to be honest with you, I'm not like impressed by the sound. The sound is just okay to me, but everything else is pretty impressive. Like the typing feel for this feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. I think, if you wanted something a little bit more uniform feeling, you could use the gasket. There, let me pull out the Jane. But yeah, here. So far, I prefer this board over that for obvious reasons. How does the sound and feel compare to the Hex 4B? The Hex 4B is a completely different board, so we wouldn't really be giving it a fair comparison. But here we go. This one is my Jane. You guys can see Jane. I'd probably have to buy a cable just to use this board. So yeah, but here we go. So differences between this board, other than the obvious, it being a Jane versus a Freebird. It's using a brass plate. It's using, well, yeah, it's using a brass plate, but it's using Gateron linears, which are recolors of the KS3s, both using GMKs. Yeah. See, the Jane is even more higher pitch, in my opinion. Here, let's go. And I would attribute that to the brass plate and, the fact that it's got a lot more denser materials on it. The Jane is using linears, which are Gateron KS3 colors. So here, I can't even do a typing test of this board. Do I have? Let me see if I can find one. Gosh. Nope, I don't have a cable anymore. So pretend I'm doing a typing test. Let me just, I'll do what I did earlier with this, but I'm obviously not going to be transmitting anything to the computer. Here we go. There we go. Have I tried a carbon fiber plate in your Jane? No, I have not. Basically, the only reason that I have a Jane is because Yuxi was super gracious to me. So all the parts that I have for my Jane are courtesy of him. So yeah, I will have to say that the PCB in this is not the Jane PCB. It's funny because I was set this board so I could put QMK on the Jane, which I did, but eventually I just used Heine's PCB. Just because Heine's PCB has ESD protection, and apparently this one has, I think, underglow RGB, but obviously you can't see it. So yeah. Are you going to test it with the O-ring? Pokiller says, why does FB sound better? Depends on your own preferences, and just because a board is more expensive, has higher quality components, doesn't always mean that you'll like it more, right? Like, for example, when's the last time you guys have seen me use my Jane, right? How much does both of the boards weigh? This one's probably like 9 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. 9 pounds? 9-ish pounds. This one, probably like 2. Yeah, I don't even have a cable for this. I used to, but then I think like last summer I threw away a lot of like old components, and I must have been like, oh, USB MIDI B. What do I have that uses that? Nothing. Let's throw it out. And then I forgot that it was because my Jane had it. What do I think of EPBT Fall? I like the colors. I like the gradient. Bitardo says, and the Frog TKL, how does it sound and feel? I don't know. I don't have a Frog TKL. Godkeep says, I'm guessing your favorite layout is 75 or 65. I like 60s to 75s. These days, I'm leaning more towards 75s. There, let's do another typing test of this. You want a TKL for work? Alright, anyway, looks like no one else is asking questions about the Freebird, so let me do one last typing test and give some of my concluding remarks. There we go. Alright, concluding remarks for the Freebird TKL. As I said during the unboxing, I still think that this is a very good value for the money. $225 with your option of different plate materials and different different mounting styles. I think this is definitely a bang for the buck. 225 gives you an olive, black, blue, or white keyboard. So lots of opportunities there. One of the things that really impressed me is that it's using the popular, I think it's the A88 TKL standard. So you can use the Heine PCB, you can use the PCB that came with it. There's like so many out there. So lots of options there as well. One thing that I mentioned during the unboxing stream was that typically for a board at this price, at this caliber, number one, you don't have that many options. Number two, you basically just get a rectangle with straight edges, sharp corners, but this one has a little bit of an aesthetic touch. You see some curved edges here. Side profile actually is hard to see because it's black, but this is not typical of a cheap board like this. So lots of things that caught me off guard. I do have to say that during the build stream, I did notice a few things a little off. Number one, the screws, right? Like, while a majority of them seem to go all the way in, the two corner ones here just kind of got caught. So I couldn't screw them all the way in. I actually unscrewed and screwed them in several times after removing some of these screws. And yeah, it doesn't go in much further than that. So that might be like a manufacturing defect. Other things I noticed, if you look closely, especially if you don't buy a black board, you'll see that there is a gap on the top of that function row. And you might be like, oh, Merlin, you can just push the plate up. The plate is already pushed all the way up. So there's really not much you can do there. And there's also like little gaps around the corners as well. So it's not as tight fitting, it's not as well knit, I guess, as something like a Jane, of course. See? Just using this as an example, you don't see a big gap on the top there. So yeah, just stuff like that I've noticed. Other things, let's see. The board is really light, right? It's very light. Like, just because it's aluminum doesn't mean it's going to be a big chunk of metal that you're gonna have to like heave here and there. Like earlier I said, the reason why it feels light to me may be because my daily right now is a 9-10 pound board, right? So this being like around 2 pounds is like, you know, wimpy to me, but still. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a great board. 225, definitely worth your money. During the unboxing, I found out that they had a more premium board called the Apollo TKL. If they can do so much with something like this, that Apollo is going to be amazing. So yeah, good on Keebsforall. This is a great TKL. Really like it. So I think you guys will too. So yeah, check it out. Here, let me link the group buy page again, but you guys have until the 14th to make your purchase, so don't have to do it right away. Check it out, 225 bucks. All right, everyone, thanks for joining in. The next stream will be this Saturday. I will be building a customer's board. Let's see, what was it again here? I think it was a Satisfaction 75. But yeah, tune in if you guys want to see that board built. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye, everyone.